Well, welcome. Kent Adams here, and we're going to be talking news today. We're going to be talking with 6th District Representative Jenny Graham. I used to get to vote for her, but the districts have all been changed, in case you hadn't noticed, and so I'm in a different district now. And but she's still one of my favorites. Okay, so maybe I'll just pop in and vote for somebody. No, I won't. We won't want to say that. Anyway, Jenny, how are you?
I am doing great.
You did okay in the primary.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to thank the people for that, by the way,
Yeah.
for having trust and faith in me.
yes. And you have some new voters too.
Yes.
Right, because of the change in the boundaries and so forth. It seems like between the legislative districts and the new county commissioner districts, you got to check where you vote and who you're voting for, because it can be all different from before.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, it's that game of whatever it is that you move things around on the board, and where do things go?
Well, and then there's some, because we've been driving the boundaries.
Yes.
So up on 5 Mile, it can be the 3rd on one side and the 6th on the other. The lines are just crazy, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's just fun getting to a chance to
meet new people,
That's
too.
right.
Yes.
Meet them out their doors, meet them out events, go to businesses. I enjoy all of it.
Do you hear when someone opens the door? Do you hear, "Oh, you're now my new representative"?
No, not necessarily. It's one of those things where they may not know it. Most people are not aware. And I just simply introduce myself and let them know that that area is now coming into the 6th district.
Right, right.
And that I am,
Are you often the first to tell them that?
yes. Well, when you have somebody come to your door, they're going to want to know why you're there.
Yeah.
Who is this lady and what does she want?
You're not selling Tupperware or
No.
something like that. Oh, you enjoy doorbelling, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Why?
I honestly enjoy it because you have an opportunity, again, to meet the people that you're serving.
Yes.
And you have an opportunity to listen to the things that are on their mind that keep
Okay.
them up at night. Sometimes they have questions where they didn't really necessarily think about reaching out.
Right.
But when
you're there, so
when
now
you're
they can-
there, a lot of times it just kind of slipped their mind. They didn't really think about contacting us at the state level.
Okay.
So I've really had great reception.
Yeah.
It's been really nice.
When you say that they don't think about contacting you at the state level, I get that, but so much local is directed by the state.
Yes.
And by those who go to Olympia and so forth. And yet we see the problems that it has caused our police and our deputies in our sheriff's department. We've seen the homeless issues and so forth. And all of these really, yes, they are local problems, but often our local folks are hand-tied by what the state has thought had a great idea, and even heard reports and input from police and sheriffs and others to some of the things that they went ahead and passed. And now the local sheriff's office, the local police department are dealing with it on a daily basis.
Right.
Yeah. I know you've been in that battle at the state level to try to stop some things and put some common sense. I don't see a lot of common sense from many of our, especially Democrat state legislators, okay? It's the woke type approach. Let's do this, let's do that. We have a justice system now that favors those who commit crimes. I'm sorry, but that's what we have right now.
That is.
And it's sad, and it's causing more problems. It's causing problems in neighborhoods. It's certainly causing problems going downtown and what they're encountering and so forth. How do we begin, Jenny, in your job, how do we begin to make that change when you're the minority party? I mean, that's the reality.
Well, for me, I do make an effort to reach out to whether they're people in my own caucus
Right.
or people in the other caucus.
With some facts.
Facts, but also, I really do look at this from the standpoint that the people that I serve are the ones that are in charge.
Yes, yes.
And that's why going to the doors is so important, because you get to hear their stories. You get to hear about how things are affecting them. Sometimes you might understand an issue a little better.
Yes.
Other times there could be a solution
Yes.
in that conversation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. But I think that part of when we talk about common sense, you're also unfortunately having to grapple with definitions
Yes.
of common sense.
Yeah.
Right? Because what one person sees as common sense, the other person may not.
Yeah.
So that's why we are a nation of laws.
Right.
That those laws allow us to be able to live and work and raise our families and retire in peace and safety, because everybody should be expected to go by the laws that we have, the law of the land. But that's not in balance right now.
Yeah.
We have two different sets of rules
Yes.
for different individuals based on what their situation is. And I think part of it is, again, the people in general have a right to decide what kind of neighborhood
Right.
they want to live in.
Right.
I am a person that is safe and clean neighborhoods first.
Right.
Because without that, nothing else matters. If you're dead,
That's for
Nothing
where
else
our
matters.
families are, our children are, our neighbors are. Yes.
right. So, and it goes back to, a perfect example would be with what's going on with Camp Hope
Yes.
right now. You basically have an autonomous zone right here
Yeah.
in
It's
Spokane.
an illegal camp, isn't it?
It is illegal
Yeah.
for them to be there, but you also have known criminals, traffickers
Yes.
that are in that area. You're not getting in there unless they know who you are or there's
Right.
something that you want.
Right.
And I think, things have even escalated a little more when we have law enforcement that has a drone. They're trying to see what it is
Right.
that's going on. And somebody from the camp has another drone that attacks the police officers'
Oh, gee.
drone, so they can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
And the other thing from different other sources that I have is that that's not necessarily local people that are there. We have people that are coming from outside
Yes, clearly.
of Washington State. They're coming here for certain things that they know that are available.
And
And they're coming here because they know that it's a criminal's paradise right now, where if you're a crime victim or the family of a crime victim, you're a business.
Well, talk to the people that live near there and the businesses that have employees coming in and out and are getting harassed and their windows are being broken and things are being stolen out of their cars
Right.
and businesses and so forth.
Right.
Where's the protection for that?
Well, that's what I said. Where's the compassion?
Yeah.
We talk about compassion,
Yeah.
but we never talk about what compassion looks like
Yeah.
for our families and our neighborhoods
Right.
and our businesses.
Compassion is really helping people,
Yes.
not prolonging their current misery.
Right,
Okay?
right.
I mean, it's pretty simple and straightforward.
Right.
Maybe not simple how to do, but there are organizations, Union Gospel Mission would be one that comes to mind, that makes change, makes permanent change,
Right.
makes life-changing changes
Right.
in people and so forth. I love seeing when they post, the graduations and Next Step Up and folks who have been drug addicts and alcoholics and everything else that are back with their kids now and back as a family unit. The Promise Center, I'm not saying it right. There are several here that are doing it right, and we need to be supporting more of them every single day.
Right, right. But that's also has to be a community conversation. What kind of neighborhood do you want to live in?
Yes.
What kind of neighborhood do you want to work in? What kind of neighborhood do you
Yes.
want to retire in, raise your family in?
Safe.
safe
is the key
and
word.
clean.
Yes.
Everything else we can, handle after that. Now, there are some issues that are going on right now with them looking to, I'm just going to say, move the Camp Hope problem
Up
to
the hill,
right
Sunset Hill.
to another area.
Yeah.
So I've spent time yesterday really delving into that from a state level, because it's not just the Quality Inn they're looking at. They're also looking at
What was the Berg
the
place?
pallet homes.
Yes.
And other low-income housing, and it's never a good idea to concentrate that all in one area.
No.
It's a bad idea. There are hotels there.
For those that are being
There's the
cared
airport,
for, too. It's
right,
not just for the neighbors.
right. But what I'm saying, though, too, is that's where we have hotels.
Yes.
That's where we have the airport,
Yes.
right? So you're going to transport, and it's organized crime.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to transport that closer out there. And and I'm going to say that also when it comes to people on both sides of the aisle, one of the things that I can see right off the bat that would be helpful, there's a woman that I've been talking to. She's homeless. She's in a mental facility right now, and I've been working to try to help her,
Nice.
which is helping me
Yes.
learn this process
Yes.
too.
Yes.
But she mentioned, that she was homeless, living in her car, and one of the biggest things that she was facing, that is, if you go to a shelter, you have to be in line by like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and if you're not, then you can't, you don't
get
have a
in.
place to stay.
Yeah.
So somebody that is doing the right things, keeping up their end of the bargain, wanting to work, they can't go to work.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why something can't be done immediately
Yeah.
to start turning that around, where if they have a job and they're going to work, we should help them be able to
Absolutely.
do that.
Absolutely. I don't want to get into this very far at all, but I think there are a couple organizations and a couple of opportunists out there with their organizations that are taking advantage of some of the money that's available.
Yes.
And so forth. And I don't want to go into who. I want to cover that at some point.
Right.
Okay.
That'll be another
Yes.
segment that
You and I talked on the phone the other day, and you talked about Senate Bill 5036. Remind me what that is.
in a nutshell, Senate Bill 5036, which I have been battling and will continue to battle.
Yes.
For all intents purposes, eliminates 3 strikes, and it pretty much eliminates life without the possibility of parole. So for a lot of the people that haven't read the bill, don't really know what it is, when it came up last session, and for the last 2 sessions, I have been facing major pressure from special interests.
Yes.
Coming into committee and literally saying, if you do not vote for this bill as an elected official, you're racist.
Yes. Yes.
So
well, everything today is about racism.
I know, but
It's
for the
just-
last session was really over the top.
Yeah.
Because what a lot of people don't understand with this bill, and it's why you have Jim McDevitt, who is the chair for the Clemency and Pardons Board. He's also been attacked
Yes.
and been accused of being racist, which is ridiculous.
It is.
We are looking at public safety.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
End of story. And when you have a bill that says that these individuals will be considered for clemency, regardless of what they've done, they can apply, and the board that is listening, they have to assume that that person is no longer a danger to our neighborhoods, to our families, to our businesses. The board has to prove that that person is a danger.
Gee.
Okay, so there's your first problem
Yeah.
right there.
Right.
Because I actually sat through a parole hearing
Oh, boy.
with the ISRB board for a gentleman, a mass murderer. So I watched that process unfold. I watched the questioning that was going on, and it was unbelievable that the man, multiple times, you could tell he was lying right through his teeth, and they didn't hold him accountable to that.
Yeah.
He didn't apologize, didn't take responsibility for what he did. had showed zero emotion or care that when he walked out of that business, he thought he'd murdered 5 people and tortured them for 2 hours before that. So during that whole that whole hearing, it was all about him.
Yes.
The murderer had the lawyer.
Right.
The murderer had the counselor. The murderer had all 5 of those committee
It's
members.
not about victims anymore.
No.
It just isn't.
So they were all, rowing in the same direction for the murderer, and I'm watching the crime victims. They have to try and put a case together by themselves. Number one, we have a justice system and we have sentencing guidelines that we're not going by, right? So the families are told one thing.
Yeah.
Just like with the Freeman shooting that just happened.
Right.
Oh, he's got 40 years and, they'll take 5 off and it'll be 35. Well, I have zero faith in that.
Yeah.
Based on what it is that I have seen. They are in conjunction with trying to pass this 5036 bill. They are also working to take the minimum and maximum sentencing and reduce it.
Oh. One of the things, because of being a TV station, we get a lot of the press releases from the sheriff's office and the city police department and others and so forth. And I almost am amused, except that's the wrong word to use. It makes light of it, but I get this, and so-and-so was arrested tonight. I'm doing whatever it might be. And then they talk about so-and-so's record and the prior 18 convictions and so forth. And I'm going, what do they miss? That he's let out on $5,000 bond, which means you put up $500 and so forth. I mean, what does it take to have some common sense? And the left doesn't have that anymore. It's more about protecting the perpetrators, not protecting those of us who live in homes, those of us who go to grocery stores, those of us who go to gas stations and are accosted and so forth. It's got to be balanced here. That's what justice is about. And how do we get there? We need more of you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, I will agree with that.
Yeah.
I've definitely had my battles that have come up, and I've stood my ground, and rightfully so.
And some on the left don't like it.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
So a perfect example, I was at an event, and there was a gentleman that came up and point blank, was talking about different elected officials, that
How they care about people and things
no.
Oh.
No. This person was clearly in the camp of they want to let everybody out and they don't care what crime they've done.
No more jails.
Right.
Nothing.
And that he point blank told me that the elected leaders are going to cave and they are going to get on our train or we are going to roll over the top of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And some of those elected folks want to continue to be elected.
well, based on what I've been experiencing, being on the Public Safety Committee and Civil Rights and Judiciary as a ranking member, there has been, especially the last couple of sessions, people that are coming in with an agenda to try to push a narrative.
Yeah.
Right? Any way they possibly can to make something look different than it really is.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because the end justifies the means. They don't care how they get you out. They don't care if it's the truth or not. It doesn't matter
You've
to
got
them.
that a little bit in your race too, don't you? For re-election.
Yes.
I mean, where the money's coming from and some things like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going to, point to this. It is going to take people with a strong backbone,
Yes.
thick skin, and I just am looking at this as paying it forward. We've raised our family here in Spokane.
Yes.
Our kids went to Spokane schools.
And next
I
are our
volunteered.
grandkids coming.
That's right.
Yes,
And
yes.
Spokane has been a beautiful place
Yes.
to raise our family.
Right.
I want to see that stay.
Yep.
I want that for everybody else that's trying to raise their families
Absolutely.
and retire.
Yep.
These are our neighborhoods.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They shouldn't belong to the criminals.
No.
But the bottom line is it's going to take the community deciding What kind of neighborhood do you want to live in?
Well, we're gonna face some things in the next year or two, and I'm gonna be very pro new jail. Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take some hits for that. And
Right.
and a lot of other leaders in this town, and I know John Knowles will as our new sheriff and so forth. And we've got some opportunity to elect some good people to go to Olympia with you. And so,
Right.
because I know you're going back.
Right.
But it,
On that jail thing, really quickly.
yes.
Our jail was built in 1985 for 1985 problems.
Yes.
Okay. And I've taken the time to go on tours. I take the time because I care.
Yes.
And what I have seen is if we are looking at a new jail, we have an opportunity to fix some of the problems
Yes.
that exist right now, that I've been able to see, such as there's been some deaths that have happened.
Yes, and overcrowding and all the
Right,
other things.
right.
And maybe separate some of the inmates and so forth, and one for more social help and so forth, and one for
Exactly.
no, they're the hardened criminals. They have a long record. They don't get all the soft cushions right away. You know what I mean?
Well, right.
They have to prove themselves, work their way up, and so it'll probably be two separate approaches in
There should be. We
Yes.
should have something because again, I am stand up for crime victims
Yes.
and their families.
Yes.
But if somebody is wrongfully convicted of something, I will fight just as hard for them. But I will also stand behind and help to support somebody that is taking responsibility if they've done something wrong.
Yeah.
And they are taking advantage of the opportunities that are available to them.
change their life.
They're holding up their end of the bargain.
Yes.
And they're not creating
What
new
can we do
victims.
to help them?
That's right.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so we have
Yes.
separate situations.
Yes.
And what we're seeing at the state level is they want to take somebody that's stolen a candy bar
Yeah.
and somebody that is the most vicious criminal serial killer, and they want to put them in the same basket. They want to treat them exactly the same.
No.
And we can't do that.
No.
That's just not common sense. And it really is putting safe and clean neighborhoods last on the list.
Yeah.
So,
I remember talking with Jeff Holey when he first ran for office, and as a former cop and everything else, crime was going to be one of his things. What was it, 6 or 8 years ago now? I guess 8 years ago. And he was talking about, well, we need safe streets, and I said, yes, we do. That's cop talk. We need safe neighborhoods because my wife and I and my family live in a safe neighborhood. You live in yeah. I said, talk our language, not the cop language.
Right.
Because, and he's always since then talked about we've got to have safe neighborhoods. And that means safe neighborhoods downtown. And it means safe neighborhoods out near the neighborhood of Camp Hope and all of that too.
Right. Right.
And so forth. Jenny, I wish I could vote for you this year, but I can't. Okay, maybe I can get a temporary housing or something in the district. But I've voted for you a couple times, and I look forward to seeing on election morning, the next morning, your win and going back to Olympia. Thank you for all you do for our area. You take this to heart. I know you have family in the game that have been murdered and things like that, and so it comes from experience, which I can't really begin to understand. Okay, but you do, and you take that to help other people in this community, and I know that. And so I hope you're still my friend, even if you're not my legislator. Okay, that's important to me, and I so appreciate all that you have done. You're the most researched person I know. You just spend the time, maybe too much time, but you do. And so thank you for all you do for all of our district in the 6th district, and we look forward to November and seeing the results that night. Thank you for coming in, and we'll have you keep coming in because you bring up some of the issues that are most important to me, and to our viewers.
Yes.
Safety.
Right.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I hear that from a lot of people. And so you're really helping to lead the charge in this area.
Right.
And working with some of the opposition on this too.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe we bring them in someday and have them both sit here and we'll talk about all of this, because it's a problem we as a community need to solve, both here in Spokane and in Olympia, so they don't send laws that anti our folks.
Yes. I'm hoping maybe the next time I come too, we might be able to do a segment on the shooting issues, the drive-by shootings.
Yes.
So hopefully the next time that I
Okay.
come, we can talk about House Bill 2094.
Yes. Briefly, what's the problem?
Okay, so House
We'll
Bill.
tease the audience a
yeah,
little bit.
House Bill 2094, it is my bill, which
Okay.
is prohibiting persons convicted of violent offenses with firearm enhancement from receiving early release credits.
Oh, gee.
Okay, that bill I introduced after a bad bill was introduced, House Bill 1692, to reduce the penalties for drive-by shootings.
Okay.
So think about that for a
Wait,
minute.
our drive-by shootings are increasing in this area,
Exactly.
and they want to reduce the penalties?
Exactly.
Okay.
We cannot be angry about the gun violence that's going on right now.
If we're not
People
gonna
are
address
being
it.
hurt, they're being killed.
Yes,
It's a serious issue.
it is.
And they want to reduce the penalties for it. We can't be angry about these crimes if we're not willing to hold the
Yes.
people that are committing the crimes accountable
Yeah, we'll do it next
and
time.
make it hurt.
Yes. Oh, boy, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we
I'll
do.
I'll see you in a week or two, okay?
Yes, you will.
All right. Thank you, Jenny, and have a good day, okay?
right,
Thanks.
bye.
And thanks for watching, everybody.
Can you believe it was like 6 weeks ago that we drove by? Did it, babe? We did it. Now your eyes are all teary.